Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to have a bit of a weird conversation because we're going to talk about DLCs and if we can actually expect 2 DLCs this year, which has been the norm for a while, but some people are thinking otherwise now due to the confirmation that we've got patch 6.2 on the way and just the general drip feed that's going on right now when it comes to the next upcoming DLC featuring Slaanesh and 2 other races that haven't been confirmed just yet. Now, obviously, I don't expect, and none of us should expect Creative Assembly to rush out DLCs, because that's how we get another Shadows of Change. It's just something that we do need to talk about, because I know a lot of people have been hearing rumors, there have been kind of like fake leaks going all over the place. So yeah, let's have a little bit of a discussion. But before anything, a big thank you to our sponsor, Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is a platform where you'll be able to buy games at discounted rates, even the ones that have just released. I've been playing a lot of Oblivion Remastered lately on stream. It's been really fun reliving my childhood there. And you can get it here for 22% off for the deluxe edition, just in case you want the even fancier horse armor. There's a bunch of games that are just released recently. If you want to get a game cheap, this is the best place to go. It's the company that I've been using for pretty much a year now, and it's nice to be able to get a sponsor from a company which I use their services. Not only that, but we do have a monthly giveaway going on. Win the game of your choice. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below, and you'll be able to sign up. You don't even have to make a purchase. It ends very soon, but we've been having it monthly going on. It's really nice to be able to offer some free products in the form of the giveaway because, again, it just shows that this is a company that I really do enjoy working with. Making a purchase through my special link will also support the channel at no extra cost to you because, yeah, I get a little bit of a kickback. It's been very helpful, especially during all the droughts lately, I must admit. But yeah, thank you, Instant Gaming, for the usual sponsor, and now let's return to our regularly scheduled programming. Alright, DLCs have been all over the place, but in most cases, people have been expecting 2 DLCs this year, mostly because whilst we have had the technical third release of Shadows of Change, it doesn't really count as that was more of a patch. We've been getting some information on the next DLC, which features Slaanesh. Very drip dry, as we had a little bit of information earlier on, and some information this week too, which isn't too bad, but it's only confirmed that we have Slaanesh. They haven't confirmed the 2 other races. That already sounds a little bit strange. It's very likely that we're going to be getting information once per month, and I'm really hoping that the little Decala showcase that they've put on recently, the 18-second clip, is not the only information that we'll get this month, as that does mean that maybe something has been delayed internally. And it looks like we're going to have to wait until they showcase as much as possible when it comes to these little drip-dry vlogs and blogs that they do, as it's something that we've seen before with Omens of Destruction. When they got to the end is when we actually got the proper announcement. So if that ends up being a blog a month, we're still a bit of a way away. If they do a blog this month, maybe confirming, say, for example, High Isles, which I very much expect, they're going to need June for the next faction. And that would mean I could expect a DLC around July. Obviously, times can change and things can move along a little bit quicker, but we have to be realistic here because there's other factors coming into effect. For those not aware, the beta comes to an end at May 1st, and then they're going to have a survey out for a few days, the usual stuff, right, where they ask for feedback, and that's going to lead up to 6.2. That can take around maybe 2-3 weeks post-end of beta, because they're going to want to try and implement some of the campaign stuff that they've been monitoring very heavily to the next patch. That way it looks a little bit better, and it pads out the patch more. It's all stuff that actually just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, 6.2, the moment that they had confirmed that 6.2 was a thing, that's when I realized, oh, the next DLC is probably going to be a bit later down the line. That's because general patches, so 0.1s, 0.2s in the works, they usually are, on average, keep in mind here there's a big average here, within 1.5 months to 3 months. It took a little bit longer for patch 6.1, but I imagine that was because of the Christmas break, getting everyone back up and running. That one has normal delays. So 6.1 was 3 months away from the release of Omens of Destruction. This is taking into account the Christmas break. In most cases around 1.5 months, so if we're looking for that, maybe the beginning of May or mid-May makes a lot of sense for 6.2. That's where things get a little bit weird because, again, we'd have to then look towards another 1.5 months. So I could say we could see a DLC between mid-June or maybe the end of June. At the worst, if things do happen because there's internal delays and so on, start of July. So let's say that that's going to be released in the end of June. That gives us 6 months to go. it's very possible that a DLC could happen there, but it very much depends on how things go and also how many patches come in afterwards, if there's going to be a 7.1, a 7.2, and what exactly comes into this new DLC after that. I don't like thinking about it too far into the future, but it's something that a lot of people have been wondering because yes, we have been in really weird droughts lately, 8 months per DLC and stuff, and if they keep to the 8-month cycle, it's basically going to be just one DLC this year, but I very much doubt it. Obviously, we have looked at the fact that Creative Assembly have been hiring again since their rounds of layoffs, and also CA Sophia becoming more and more active in terms of Warhammer. Before anything, we do need to talk about this quote-unquote leak that has been going around. I haven't talked about it because I even think it's false. I do think that there is a little bit of element of truth. We did discuss the possibility of Norska when the rumors started months ago before this hypothetical leak, but when it comes to stuff like Dogs of War being cancelled, I very much doubt it, and this is why I'm just going to be showcasing the Dogs of War logo here rather than, well, the tabletop cover thing, rather than just putting on the leak there, because I don't want to acknowledge it that much. There is this leak rumor thing going around, but no actual sources were put out into it. It was very vague, and in the whole thing of, trust me, my dad works at Nintendo kind of bullshit, and this is why I just don't think it's real, mostly because we know Dogs of War have been found in the game files. That's a big thing. Those were found many, many moons ago, and then also Golg Maneater, Demonetization Maneater, he also is linked up to something in the DB which is kind of reminiscent of Dogs of War. So it's very simple to think that, yeah, they've been working on the Dogs of War for quite some time now, and there have been rumors about Dogs of War since Warhammer 2 days. I actually think that that was supposed to be the last DLC, but when they realized that Warhammer 3 was going so badly in terms of production, they had to stop the Dogs of War so they could then focus on Warhammer 3. It didn't really save anything, but I could only imagine how badly things were going for them there. So if those rumors that I've been hearing, and generally my sources have been a bit better when it comes to these things, are true, it's likely that Dogs of War have been completed for quite some time now and they just have to modernize it a little bit. If that's the case, and it's the Dogs of War being next, which was what all the rumors have been going around rather than this random leak, then realistically I could expect this DLC coming out around December, same time as Omens of Destruction, which is always a pain. Let's just put it that way. It's always a pain because those, well, more so because it's just out of nowhere. There's bugs that can happen and so on. Thankfully, Omens was generally, well, barring balancing issues, it was generally bug-free. I mean, there were still bugs and stuff, and Skulltaker was way too overtuned and so on, but, you know, we've had worse. However, if it is something completely different, a different type of DLC, another Lord Pack, or maybe even just something relating to, the end times, that could take a little bit longer, and that's when we should expect it next year. But I very much doubt that it's going to be something else. I've heard rumors of an End Times DLC. We've all been kind of talking about them too after a while, but I just don't feel like they're going to miss out on a possible Dogs of War faction, which will be very easy to make. A lot of the stuff is humans, so the lot of rigs and animations and so on are reusable from Cathay, from Bretonnia, from the Empire. It's an easier faction to make. As long as the mechanics are good, there's not really much of a problem there. Before anyone starts going, oh yeah, reskin, I mean, it's humans, right? This is how it worked for pretty much every historical Total War. The last thing we do have to consider is that, yeah, we know Creative Assembly are going to be announcing another game this year, unless something has changed and they haven't just said anything about it, because sometimes they do a little message and then it just kind of gets lost in time. But they're definitely not going to announce a game at the same time as announcing a DLC, because how that works is they're going to want as much marketing put into that new game as possible to start getting those pre-orders in, to start getting those wish lists in, all the usual stuff, and then DLC whilst it's riding the hype, or even before that, DLC and then game announcements. Remember, the Creative Assembly's marketing is very central to one department, so this is why when Total War Pharaoh Dynasties was getting all the news, everything was very quiet for Warhammer. And we've seen this back before then too. Even when Creative Assembly was fully staffed up, when Three Kingdoms was getting DLCs, Warhammer was quiet. When Troy was getting DLCs, Warhammer and Three Kingdoms were being quiet. They can't multitask when it comes to marketing. Unless something has changed dramatically, I very much doubt it. It's always really weird when we start looking at it, because as a fan base, we want more DLC, but it's been kind of weird. Lately, time has been just spent somewhere else, and I do feel like a lot of CA staff is working on the next title, which makes sense. A base game is going to make way more money than a DLC, that's for sure. So maybe things only end up with one DLC this year. We're going to have to wait and see, I guess. I still think that the Dogs of War are going to happen, so I still think that this can happen December time. But I wanted to talk about it today because there have been a lot of questions regarding when news is coming and so on. Guys, I'm going to tell you, we don't get told as often as you guys think we do. And the stuff that we do get told, obviously we can't discuss anyway. But even then, it's not months down the line. We don't get told, hey, you know, in August we're going to release the Mazda Mundi update where he's going to be playing around with maracas and finally getting off his chair, right? Instead, I'm going by what I've learned over the years, watching CA, keeping tabs on them, because that's what I mainly do with this channel, right? We keep up with the news, we do the showcases, but I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how they work and what to expect. So yeah, I still think we're going to get two, but it's going to be very, very tight. We're going to have to wait and see, though. I feel like this was needed because of the leak issue. I really don't think all those stuff are being said there is true. Some stuff can have an element of truth, but I just don't trust them too much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below to start a bit of a discussion. I'll be live on Twitch today a little bit before this video goes live, so I'll still be live for a few hours doing some Oblivion Remastered because, oh my god, it's such a good game. I am so happy with it. It's absolutely unreal. It's everything I could have wanted, and I think it's come at the perfect time, because right now it's a bit quiet lately for Total War, so I feel like a little bit of quietness is good to enjoy some other products. And yeah, pop by, say hi, but if not, I'll see you all again very, very soon.